Blood Mania is a 1970 thriller starring Peter Carpenter, Maria de Aragon, and Vicky Peters. It was directed by Robert O'Neill, and the script was based on a story by Peter Carpenter, so it's a vanity project. Carpenter was discovered at a casting call for a Russ Meyer film that became Vixen. Up to that point, Carpenter had been in the family business of selling pants, but between his first and his second film role, he decided to get serious about the movie business and not just acting. He started a production company to make movies with roles that he could play to show what he was capable of. Carpenter plays Craig, a young doctor who's going places. He's also trying to keep his history as an amateur abortionist a secret. He's the on-call physician for his bedridden mentor, who is rich and still has his nympho daughter Victoria in the house waiting for him to die. Victoria seduces Craig, introduces him to amyl nitrate, and pulls him into a murder plot. But her plot gets undone when her sister Gail arrives and catches Craig's eye. Craig takes her to a Renaissance festival and wins Gail over, and Victoria doesn't like that one bit. The big legacy and the curse on this film is that title. Some of the reviews I've read are from severely disappointed people because the posters and title overpromise the kind of mayhem that Herschel Gordon Lewis would deliver, and instead the movie delivers an actor's showcase. And Peter Carpenter's performance is serviceable, daytime soap quality. Not terrible, but in some scenes he's definitely punching above his weight class. And he's not bringing it like Maria de Aragon as Victoria. She knows exactly what kind of movie she's in. She's no Joan Crawford, but she's the big fish in this pond. There's a strong supporting cast as well. Jacqueline Dahlia, Alex Rocco, Eric Allison, Leslie Sims. As for the story, Carpenter mentioned in interviews that he was an admirer of Alfred Hitchcock's films with their twists and ambiguities, but in lesser hands, those tricks are just histrionics, which is what we get, with enough nudity and sex for an adult rating, but nothing to chill the blood. But for those of you interested, here's the stats for the sickos. There are 2 on-screen homicides, starting at minute 38 and minute 71. Maria de Aragon is Victoria. She has a nude scene at minute 38, as well as minute 11, 26, and 47. Vicky Peters, as Sister Gail, has the opening scene, plus scenes starting minute 64 and 70. Reagan Wilson, as Cheryl, the supportive girlfriend. Her scenes start around minute 7, 19, and 33. Peter Carpenter drops trow in at least half of those scenes I just mentioned. There's a lot of Peter Carpenter butt in this movie, with and without slacks. Now these are late 1960s sex scenes, the prototype for the Skinemax late night standard that was to come. Very arty, suggestive imagery. Think Beyond the Valley of the Dolls or The Love Witch. The 2 cinematographers of this film are kind of big deals. Bob Maxwell met Carpenter on his previous film and would lend his next film, Point of Terror. He was also the cinematographer for Melvin Van Peebles' Sweet Sweetback's badass song. And Gary Graver would go on to direct or lens over 200 films under his own name or other pseudonyms. We'll talk about him another episode. Carpenter was already working on Point of Terror when Blood Mania made its big screen debut in 1970. He had 3 more films planned, along with discussions to sign with Warner Brothers. None of that came to pass. He reportedly died in 1971, the same year Point of Terror was released. Thanks to all the research by the blog Eerie Midnight Detective Agency regarding the history of Mr. Carpenter. Maria de Aragon would make other films for Crown International, like The Cremators and Wonder Woman, but her most memorable role was a day part in Star Wars, when she slipped on the green antenna of Greedo, the bounty hunter. She also almost doubled for C-3PO. Nurse Turner was Leslie Sims' first big-screen role. Her more prominent roles would be decades later on the TV series Jane the Virgin and on NBC's Community. Don't watch Blood Mania for the gore. It's actually a beautiful looking film if you're a fan of that swinging 60s look or 70s TV movies, with copious nudity of course. It's more of a Netflix and chill type of flick when you and your special somebody are not really invested with how the movie ends. If you know what I mean.